We'll come back to you in a moment, Chief Mustafa. I mean, looking at the way he's left, there are those who have said, look, well, before this administration came on board, he was instrumental to the ascension of office of the late President Yaradua, even this current president. And so much as some people spoke at that time, and then we have this in our hands, they ask, does he have even the moral suasion to complain about how things are turning out now? Because some said, we kind of warned you before, but you didn't listen. So why cry over spilt milk? Some describe it.
Yeah, you know, Chamberlain, all of us are living witnesses to what happened in this country in 1998 and 1999. The PDP came together, if you ask me, and I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility and profound respect to members of that party, those who were in the party before and those who are still there now, as an SPV, if you like, a special purpose vehicle. The Nigerian people were in a titanic battle with the military, wanted the military to go. And dramatically, something happened. Abiola died, Abacha died, and Abiola died. Correct, their soul. And the military suddenly realized that they had to leave power, that they couldn't continue the way they continue. In other words, in the thinking of certain militarists, they wanted to substitute civil rule for their hegemonic control. And so that party came together, and against all odds, that party became the party that in power. And by their arrangement and understanding, they felt that they should have a way of doing things, including what Chief Olabode George, and I like him for saying that, called Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited. He said that so much in 2003 in support of this president that we're discussing now when he was a president, that no, the time was not, it's Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited. And so I think that that has been ruptured right now. And so what is going on right now could be traceable to that kind of thing. And so for me, if Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who had benefited from that process, now felt that the status quo is rupturing that process and that he is disgusted, who am I to complain that he shouldn't be disgusted? Really? Because two things have happened in recent times to shape what is going on in this country. Whereas that ruling party will have continued or will have wanted to be in control of this environment and all that, certain things, except you behaving like an ostrich, certain fissures, certain problems occurred in that political party. And all this that you see are reactions. So if other people have left that party in the way they did, Vice President had left that party, so why shouldn't the president leave if he wants to leave? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let me get you quickly before we get over to the next phase.
Yeah, thank you. We founded PDP, but majority of the problems that are undemocratic, that bedeviled PDP, were created by Obasanjo.
Okay. Just hold your thought at that point. Let's get to our correspondent, Peter. He's in Edo State. We'll come back and find out why Prince Eric is saying what he said. But Peter, hello.
What's come since the postponement of the elections? Political parties seem to have taken a break on open campaigns in the past few days. INEC just held a stakeholders meeting with the political parties in the state, and one major thing that featured in the meeting is the issue of late arrival of materials, which the resident electoral commissioner said this time they are going to get right, as they will ensure that non-sensitive materials begin to go to the various polling units 2 days before the time. The Assistant Inspector General of Police has held a meeting with political parties, and in that meeting, they were made to sign a non-violence pact to ensure that these polls are conducted free, fair, without violence. The postponement of the polls has elicited mixed reactions on the side of the people, as some feel that since this election was postponed, it will help douse the tension that has built up over time. Others actually feel that it is going to create more suspense. But the people actually are unanimous that it is giving them adequate time to go and collect their PVCs. Back to you, Chamberlain.
Well, thank you, Peter. Apparently, more conversation going on across the country about the collection of the permanent voter cards. Well, we'll be back in just a moment. Join us again. Welcome back to Nigeria 2015. Well, do remember that you can send your questions or comments to us via our email. But for now, it's time for the headline news with Ayotunde Balogun.
Many thanks, Chamberlain. Well, it's no longer news. Well, for those who may not have heard yet, well, former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo has finally announced his decision to dump the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. Now, the former president told newsmen in Abeokuta today that although he's leaving the PDP, he is not prepared to join any other political party as he wishes to remain a statesman. This took place at the hilltop home of the former president in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Now, the PDP has accused Chief Obasanjo of wanting to pull down democracy rather than allowing the president return to power. That's President Goodluck Jonathan. And in what seems to be a dramatic response, the Ogun State chapter of the ruling People's Democratic Party announced the expulsion of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, speaking to newsmen in Abeokuta today, the state chairman of the party, Chief Bayo, cited some anti-party activities, including direct confrontations of the leadership of the party as reasons for his expulsion. He said the party was being patient with him as an elder statesman, but from all indications, it appears that Chief Obasanjo already made up his mind to leave the party anyway. Now, it appears the Nigerian military has begun to record more success in their renewed onslaught against Boko Haram, the insurgents that is, as the defense headquarters has announced the retaking of Mongono, Marte, and other communities in Borno State in northeast Nigeria. According to the defense headquarters, military operations to clear terrorists from Mongono and other communities has been successful after an operation which the military says was led by highly coordinated air assaults. And the Egyptian military has carried out bomb attacks on ISIS targets in Libya after a video emerged online of 21 Egyptian Coptic Christians being beheaded. Now, the kidnapped Egyptian workers, all of them Coptic Christians, were abducted in separate incidents between December last year and January this year from the coastal town of Sirte, east of Libya. Now, the video describes the Copts as crusaders and refers, among other things, to two women, wives of Coptic priests, whose alleged conversion to Islam triggered a sectarian dispute in Egypt in 2010. Well, those are the news headlines. It's still Nigeria 2015. We're still talking former President Olusegun Obasanjo's exit from the PDP and, of course, the implications. Chamberlain, it's back to you now.
Well, thank you, Ayo. Let's get back to that matter. Prince Seriki was talking about the problems in the party. Briefly, conclude your thoughts on that.
Yeah, thank you very well, Chamberlain. You see, I was saying at the inception, when we founded PDP, our hopes about democracy and the country were very high because NCP, an association I belong to, was one of the associations that formed PDP. I signed alongside Chief Don Echebet. Prominent Nigerians were there, Turaki Adamawa, respectable elder statesman, Alex Ekweme. Our intention was not to gag the system. We wanted to propagate democracy and move forward Nigeria. The greatest mistake we made was to have made Obasanjo the president. Because it was...
You made him the president?
Because we made him our candidate. You see, we technically made him president because we had to change all rules to favor him because we wanted to stabilize Nigeria.
Not once.
Yes, because, you know, at the beginning, the decision of the party was, if you don't deliver your word, deliver your local government, you can't contest. He woefully could not do all those things.
But
we now needed to go back a minute.
Didn't the party realize their mistake? Because he wasn't president once.
No,
He occupied, he was the BOT chairman.
Listen, the issue is not about President one. It's about making a mistake and somebody now taking over the system and overwhelming and controlling and imposing himself undemocratically on all the process. So you see, after he became the president, it is as ridiculous as when he was even living 8 years after PDP president. He had to force us into a quasi-convention where he was the only eligible person to be chairman of BOT of the party. You know how many national chairmen he changed? You see, it was a very pitiable development, and he's leaving the party. I think the party better get its hearts together and be democratic. And that's where the present-day president needs to face the reality that probably God is helping him.
All right, let me get to Chief Bade Mustafa. You also, at that time, maybe you tell us about it, you left the party. But the way this happened, I mean, this event that occurred today, I mean, we saw that in the opening sequence, if we could see it again, the tearing of the party membership card, that's a symbol. Let me ask you, if someone were to do that to your party, would you dismiss it with a wave of hand? Chief Mustafa? Apparently, I'm not sure he can hear us. Well, we'll come back and get his thoughts on that, Chief Bade Mustafa. But Mr. Ogunye, look at that. The way this is done, that's a symbol of it, to some extent, of the party, even though I understand that that membership card is free. But then, tearing it in public?
Yeah, I did say earlier that the president is a master of theatrics, and that act is purposed, if you ask me, to convey his total rejection of the party. Not just by saying, he could have written a letter, as indeed he did before. He's been writing several letters. I don't want to be in the BOT, I'm resigning and all that. He could have done that. But on this occasion, he organized that forum to have the card of the party torn. And then those cards were also scattered on the floor, thereby conveying an imagery of a party that is gone. That may not happen, but the point is that he has the right to do that. Really, because I'm a lawyer and I talk about right. Thank God he's not defaced the flag of Nigeria. That would have been a criminal offense, and I'm sure that Shizeri Kia would have said that no, nobody's above the law here. No, he tore a party symbol, and thank God he's also not torn the Holy Quran.
Let me get back, Bade Mustafa.
If he had done that elsewhere, he would have been in deep trouble. But he tore a flag.
Let me find out from Chief Mustafa, he's back online now, what his impression is. Chief Mustafa, if someone were to tear that symbol of your party, would you dismiss it with a wave of hand?
I will not dismiss it with a wave of hand, especially not somebody of Chief Obasanjo's stature. You see, people can say what they like, but Chief Obasanjo is not just an ordinary Nigerian. He's a Nigerian of international repute and is an international figure. And that means a whole lot. And if he feels that way about the party, then that party has some problems.
What was your reason in the first instance why you left?
I left the party because of injustice. Very, very and simple. I was nominated to be national auditor. I was voted for as national auditor. I had 3,005 votes as against my opponent's 16 votes. And somebody who was neither nominated nor voted for, because he got a kangaroo whatever from a court, when even the constitution of PDP says you don't go to court, don't take the party to court, was now foisted on the party as national auditor, and I was made to leave. What justice can I get? And at that time, I wrote letters to the chairman of the Board of Trustees. I wrote letters of complaint to the president, who was the leader of the party. And I never heard anything from them. And so, what do I want to do in a party that operates at the level of injustice? Nothing.
All right, Prince Eriki is here.
When I left, they said I had no value. And whether I have value or I have no value, elections are only a month away. We'll know who has a value or who doesn't have value.
Well, Prince Eriki wants to say a quick thing about that. Go ahead, please.
It's interesting. You know, Shibode Mustafa is an elderly brother of mine. But the truth of the matter is that this country needs to be run properly for it to prosper. Take, for instance, in the particular instance of his case, of which he knows I'm conversant. In PDP, like any other conventions, they will have zoned. That position has been zoned to Ogun State. And former President Obasanjo nominated him. And that's why I said it's a post-stated loss, because all President Obasanjo's people have since left PDP